Denmark looks like a country where housing should feel safe. Clean streets, order, efficiency, a place that looks like it's working. And then you try to rent. And the first shock isn't always the monthly rent, it's the entry cost. In Denmark, a landlord can legally ask for up to 3 months prepaid rent and up to 3 months deposit. And when you add the first month's rent, the move-in price can reach the equivalent of about 7 months of rent. 7 months. Think about what that does to a person. It turns moving into a barrier. It turns a key into a luxury purchase. It turns the beginning of your housing story into debt and panic. That is Denmark's signature pain. Before you even live anywhere, you can be financially emptied. And once you're emptied, you lose power. You can't negotiate. You can't shop around. You take what you can get, because the alternative is losing time, losing options, losing your place in the line. And yes, there is a line. Denmark is also one of the European countries where housing cost pressure is especially heavy in cities. That means a large share of people are pushed into housing costs that eat a dangerous part of their income. So the market doesn't feel calm. It feels like controlled stress. You search, you message, you wait. A viewing appears and it's crowded. Not loud, not chaotic, quiet. People trying to look like the safest tenant. Because in a tight market, the safest tenant wins. And once you understand that, you start performing. You try to look easy, quiet, reliable. Because renters learn the same rule everywhere pressure exists. Don't be difficult. In Denmark, there is also a detail locals understand instantly. A large share of the private rental market is regulated. Rent rules for many older properties can protect tenants from extreme increases. But regulation under scarcity creates a different cruelty. Rationing. Homes can end up allocated through waiting lists, timing, and personal contacts. Not because you deserve them, but because you got to the right door first. So even with rules, the feeling can still be the same. You are competing for permission to exist indoors. Now the crisis becomes physical. Not in riots, in square meters. In pressured Danish cities, small space living isn't always a design trend. For many people, it becomes compression. A loft bed isn't clever. It's what happens when adult life is forced into one room. A wall desk isn't minimalist. It's the last surface left where your life can function without sitting on your bed. Storage walls aren't style. They are evidence. Evidence that the space cannot hold a normal life, so your life must fold. These aren't solutions, they are coping. Because the alternative isn't better. The alternative is losing the address. And once housing becomes fragile, your life becomes fragile. You stop planning long-term. You plan in contract terms, in renewal dates, in how long you can hold on without being forced into another expensive move. And then the hidden cost appears. Mobility dies. People stay in places that do not fit them because moving is too expensive. People delay relationships because combining lives costs too much. People delay children because stability is priced like luxury. The crisis does not only steal money, it steals decisions. Now, why does Denmark feel like this? Not slogans, not blame, just forces that stack together. First, demand concentrates. Jobs, universities, transport, services pull people into the same areas. When too many people need the same neighborhoods, housing becomes a choke point. Second, entry barriers are high. When moving requires the equivalent of many months up front, fewer people can move freely. So those who cannot pay get stuck, and those who can pay gain power. Third, regulation and scarcity collide. Rent rules can protect tenants, but in a shortage, they can also increase rationing. Rationing creates gatekeeping through time, contacts, and luck. Fourth, supply pressure. When availability doesn't expand fast enough where people actually need homes, competition hardens. Hardened competition changes people. They speak softer, they accept more, they complain less because they feel replaceable. Now, people ask the question every crisis creates: what is the government doing? Here is what exists on paper. Denmark has a strong legal framework for tenant protections. There are rent boards that handle disputes between tenants and landlords. So, yes, rules exist, boards exist, protections exist. On paper, the system is moving. But renters do not live on paper. They live in outcomes. And the outcome many Danes recognize is still this: the upfront cost is still brutal. The competition is still real. The stress is still inside the body. Because a board does not lower the entry barrier, a framework does not make a home appear, and protection does not remove the fear of being priced out of your own life. So people adapt. They stay longer than they want. They share more than they want. They accept smaller spaces than they want. They build life around housing pressure. And the darkest part is how quickly it becomes normal. 7 months up front starts to sound standard. A tiny room starts to sound reasonable. A life built around caution starts to feel adult. Until you realize something uncomfortable. A home is supposed to be recovery. But when the entry price is a wall, home becomes stress. So here's the ending that should sit heavy. When it takes 7 months of rent just to enter a home, what happens to everyone who can't pay the price of a key? And here's the part that should stop you for a second. Look at how normal this is becoming. A life where ordinary people can't secure ordinary shelter. A life where stability is treated like a reward. A life where you're always one notice, one increase, one rejection away from the edge. And when that becomes normal, people don't build a future anymore. They manage fear. This is the time we're living in. A time where home is turning into a competition and the losers don't disappear. They just shrink. Next series, North America. Different rules, same direction. Now, tell me in the comments, what did this take from you first? Money, time, dignity, or the feeling that you're safe? And do you believe it gets better, or do you feel it only gets worse from here? Subscribe, because the next series starts immediately, and once you see the direction, it is hard to pretend it is not happening.